Rumors are swirling that Russell Wilson has promised to join the Chiefs. If this turns out to be true, it would be one of the biggest moves of the offseason. Wilson is reportedly one of the most sought after players by the Chiefs, and his experience, leadership, and playmaking ability could take the team to another level. Imagine him working alongside Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and possibly Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs would be absolutely unstoppable. If Wilson does join, Kansas City's offense could become a superpower, making them the ultimate Super Bowl favorite. What do you think? Would this move guarantee another championship for the Chiefs? Something unexpected may be happening behind the scenes with the Chiefs. Travis Kelce, who has always been synonymous with total dedication to football, made statements that left fans feeling apprehensive. Could a big change be coming? And that's not all. During the Super Bowl, a quick moment put Patrick Mahomes at the center of a controversy that took everyone by surprise. What really happened? You won't want to miss any details of these stories. Leave a like. And let's dive into the video. Just a week ago, Travis Kelce was all in on football, saying he had a full heart for the game and plenty of years left in him. But after the Chiefs' rough 40-22 loss to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, it sounds like he's rethinking things a bit. On the latest episode of his New Heights podcast, Kelce admitted that he's not rushing into any decisions, but is definitely weighing his future. I know everybody wants to know whether I'm playing next year, and right now, I'm just kicking everything down the road, he said via the New York Post. I'm not making any crazy decisions, but the biggest thing is just being there for my teammates and my coaches. Understanding there's a lot that goes into this thing. And this isn't the first time Kelce has hinted at retirement. Back in 2023, he revealed that he had thought about hanging it up more than anyone could ever imagine after undergoing 10 surgeries. While he's always talked about chasing more rings, the 35-year-old has also made it clear that he wants to walk away on his own terms, not because his body forces him to. And let's be real, Kelce has played a ton of football. The fact that we keep going to these AFC championships and Super Bowls means I'm playing an extra 3 games more than everybody else in the entire league, he explained. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body. That process can be grueling. It can make you better and it can drive you crazy. This year, it was one of those things that was driving me crazy. Even though his regular season numbers dipped to 69 catches for 823 yards and just 3 touchdowns, he was still the Chiefs' top target. But his 4-catch, 39-yard performance in the Super Bowl left some questioning if he's still the dominant force he once was. Kelce knows this decision isn't just about him. I owe it to my teammates that if I do come back, it's going to be a wholehearted decision, he said. I'm fully here for them, and I think I can play. It's just whether or not I'm motivated or if it's the best decision for me as a man, as a human, as a person. Between his relationship with Taylor Swift, TV gigs, and various business ventures, Kelce has no shortage of options post-football. The big question now is whether he's ready to step into that next chapter or give it one more run with the Chiefs. So, fans, what do you think? Could the Chiefs be facing a big change soon? Comment below. But for now, hold in tight because the next story involves Mahomes and a moment that is causing a stir. The internet doing what it does best, turning a split-second moment into a full-blown controversy. A viral video from Super Bowl 57 had fans convinced that Patrick Mahomes was giving Jerick McKinnon the cold shoulder, but the veteran running back is shutting that down fast. It all started when McKinnon dropped a pass in the second quarter of the Chiefs' 40-22 loss to the Eagles. Later in the game, as Mahomes made his way down the sideline, giving out high fives and words of encouragement, he appeared to skip one player, McKinnon. Instead, he went straight to Travis Kelce, and that was all the internet needed to start speculating. Was Mahomes actually upset with McKinnon? Did he purposely leave him hanging? Social media seemed to think so, but McKinnon wasted no time clearing the air. In an Instagram comment, he explained that the so-called snub was nothing more than a wardrobe adjustment. I actually stood up to untie my pants string. No one blamed anybody, he wrote via the New York Post. It's not that deep. And honestly, that checks out. Mahomes isn't the kind of guy to throw a teammate under the bus, especially on the biggest stage in football. He knows the cameras are always rolling And even if he had an issue with McKinnon, skipping a high five wouldn't be how he'd handle it. So there you have it. No beef, no drama, just an unfortunately time pants adjustment that turned into another case of the internet reading way too much into things. Let's be honest. Sometimes the internet creates controversy out of nowhere, but at the same time, some things don't happen by chance. As for Kelce, the doubts are only growing, and the Chiefs could be facing a big change. Want to stay up to date? Subscribe to the channel and don't miss any news about your team. Big money offers are on the table, but if he truly considers himself at home, would Nick Bolton accept a more affordable contract to stay, or will the desire for a bigger contract speak louder? These are questions only time will answer. Keeping a player like Bolton won't be cheap. After 4 years of consistent production, he has the right to demand a big contract, and some NFL teams might be willing to pay a premium for a linebacker of his caliber. The Chiefs, on the other hand, need to manage their cap space carefully. They already have huge contracts with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones, so every dollar needs to be invested strategically. If Bolton demands a huge contract, Kansas City could opt to let him go and look for a cheaper replacement in the draft or free agency. But is that the best move for the defense? What do you think, Kingdom? Is it worth spending heavily to keep Bolton, or can the defense survive without him? Comment below. Now let's talk about Juju Smith-Schuster. The wide receiver returned to Kansas City this season to bring experience to the offense and help Mahomes deal with injuries to the receiving core. Even without spectacular numbers, he filled this role efficiently. During the season, Juju recorded 18 receptions for 211 yards and 2 touchdowns, contributing mainly when Rashee Rice was out due to injury. Juju is a player who may not shine all the time, but when called upon, he delivers. He played a key role in the playoffs, being a reliable piece for Mahomes in critical moments. The question now is, does he still have a place on this team? Should Kansas City keep Juju for another year, or would it be better to look for new options on the market? After the Super Bowl, Juju posted a message on X, formerly Twitter, that seemed like a farewell. He thanked the Chiefs, his teammates, and the fans, but the final part took fans by surprise. Thank you, Chiefs Kingdom. Thank you to my teammates, coaches, and staff. Sorry we couldn't make it. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. Judging by the tone of the message, Juju may already be aware that he will not be returning to Kansas City in 2025. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to stay, but perhaps the front office has already made the decision to go another way. What do you think? Does Juju still deserve a spot in the Chiefs offense, or is it time to look for a more explosive reinforcement? Regardless of who stays or goes, the Chiefs remain one of the strongest teams in the NFL. With Mahomes, Kelce, and Chris Jones, this team will always be a Super Bowl contender, but the decisions made this offseason will shape the future of the franchise. If Bolton leaves, who takes over the defense? If Juju doesn't stay, which receiver should the Chiefs sign? The season may be over, but the excitement continues. Come on, Chiefs fans, breaking news. In the last few hours, we've received some exciting and shocking updates. Before we dive into all the details, make sure you've already hit the like button if you believe the Chiefs will make it to the Super Bowl in 2025. If you can, comment like this: let's go Chiefs, let's go to Super Bowl 60. The Chiefs have made another move to strengthen their secondary, signing former Steelers cornerback Darius Rush to a reserve futures contract. This means Rush will stay in Kansas City, giving him a chance to prove himself and compete for a roster spot next season. For those who may not be too familiar with him, let's break it down. Rush was initially signed to the Chiefs practice squad in October 2024 after being released by the Steelers. Unfortunately, he didn't see any game action for Kansas City last season, which means he's still looking for his first real opportunity to make an impact in a Chiefs uniform. Now, let's rewind a bit to how he got here. Rush played college football at South Carolina, where he started out as a wide receiver before transitioning to defensive back in 2019. That move turned out to be a great decision, as he quickly became a legitimate cornerback prospect. During his time with the Gamecocks, he recorded 74 tackles, 15 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions in 43 games. Not bad for a guy who once played offense, right? He declared for the 2023 NFL Draft and turned heads during the Senior Bowl, which boosted his stock before running an impressive 4.36-second 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. That elite speed caught the attention of NFL scouts, and he was drafted in the 5th round by the Indianapolis Colts with the number 138 overall pick. However, things didn't work out for Rush in Indianapolis, and he was released before the regular season even started. That's when the Chiefs first signed him, but his time in Kansas City was short-lived as he was released just a few weeks later. The Steelers then came calling, added him to their active roster in mid-October, and gave him some playing time. Rush suited up for 3 games in Pittsburgh, recording 3 tackles in limited action. He had a real chance to carve out a bigger role with the Steelers heading into 2024. He showed some promise in the preseason, allowing just 1 reception on 4 targets while playing 42 defensive snaps, according to Pro Football Focus. However, despite making the Steelers' initial 53-man roster and playing on special teams for the first 2 weeks, he was released again, and that's how he ended up back in Kansas City. Now, with this reserve futures contract, the Chiefs are giving him another shot to develop and compete for a starting role heading into the offseason. So what does this mean for the Chiefs secondary? It's all about depth and potential. Rush brings speed, athleticism, and in-tap potential. With Kansas City always looking for young defensive talent to step up, he'll have every chance to prove himself in camp and during the preseason. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Darius Rush has what it takes to make an impact for the Chiefs next season? Now, let's get into something that might sting a little. There's buzz around the league that the Houston Texans could be eyeing one of Kansas City's most explosive weapons in free agency. That's right. Marquise Hollywood Brown, who spent last season battling injuries, is set to hit the open market, and Houston could be a major contender to land him. Let's break this down. The Texans are desperate for receiver help in 2025. Tank Dell, who was a rising star in their offense, is expected to miss the entire season due to a serious knee injury. On top of that, Stephon Diggs is set to hit free agency, which means Houston may need to reload its receiver core for C.J. Stroud. So where does Marquise Brown fit into all of this? According to Bradley Locker of Pro Football Focus, Houston could target Brown as a much-needed deep threat. Even if the Texans can bring back Diggs, they still won't have the field-stretching speed that Dell provided. Brown, despite his injury setback, still brings elite speed and playmaking ability. And don't forget, this guy has a 1,000-yard season under his belt. He's a proven threat when healthy. Subscribe for daily Chiefs content, breaking news, rumors, and analysis. Like, comment, and share. Let's turn this loss into motivation.